Good morning. My name is Derry, and today I want you to read Witch Hat Atelier. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a spoiler warning for the first chapter, which you can read for free online at the Kodansha comic website, as well as the author's official Twitter. Alright, let me give you the premise first. Witch Hat Atelier is a story about Coco, a girl enchanted by the world of magic but wasn't born with the gift of magic. When a mage at her mother's shop fixes a chariot with magic, she discovers anyone can perform magic, as long as they have the tools and knowledge. Tragically, she ends up casting a powerful spell that petrifies her mother. The mage who fixed the chariot catches this incident as it happens and rescues young Coco, inviting her into his atelier of witch hats to learn magic and save her mother. If you're not quite sure what an atelier is, like I wasn't when I got into it, imagine atelier as a little private home, a private tutelage, if you will, on teaching young groups of people a specific skill or trade. In this case, it's magic. Witch Hat Atelier excels in every form of storytelling it provides. This main medium is manga or comics. Normally, when looking at a comic page, it is broken down into multiple panels. Each panel is a rectangle, going from top to bottom in either left to right, depending on which region you're reading it from. The purpose of this is to give a concise way in a very clear, readable format for the eyes to travel from speech bubble to figures within a scene to the final speech bubble, properly communicating events of a story through illustrations and dialect alone. Typically, these are very sound structure rectangles that are placed in a very calculated way. Witch Hat Atelier breaks the mold, however. It goes above and beyond to really embrace what a frame is. While adhering to the status quo of the rectangular format, Witch Hat Atelier dares to stray for climactic and interesting transitions, having a wide variety of panels be framed like a middle century medieval kind of tapestry, or the frame of like a mirror, as well as beautifully unfolding the illustration to leap out of the panels and use the frames as a way of storytelling in its own, rather than just using them to divide the story into different sections. So yes, panels pop, but not only that, every character matters within the story and has depth. Characters that you are exposed to and meet that you believe will just be a one-off come back later with a compelling story and multiple levels of depth and dimension. I won't be giving any examples as I don't want to spoil any of the amazing and wonderful moments throughout the series. And lastly, the visuals exceed the medium used to convey it. The way that the author of Witch Hat Atelier uses lines to communicate their world is very unique. They're able to capture a lot of depth, a lot of values, and a lot of expression in ways I've not seen other artists pursue. All while having this facade of a cutesy little slice of life adventure. And on top of all these wonderful aspects to just really explore this universe, I would say something that's done extremely well and has completely captivated me is the magic system. You see, in Witch Hat Atelier, the magic system is hard magic with clear rules and logic, yet it has enough depth that you can read a magic circle drawn within the setting and understand what the spell's doing at just a glance of it. It is easily the best magic system I've ever read and engaged with. You see, to break it down very simply without spoiling anything, within the setting of Witch Hat Atelier, your wand is a pen, and you use a specific kind of ink. When you draw a circle, a sigil, and a couple of runes around it, what ends up happening? It will cast a spell depending on the contents of what's inside the circle. There's a formula, there's a dictionary, there is a purpose and a design behind every action. You can create a pillar of water geysering out of a circle that turns into a brilliant mystical creature. You can mold the world to your will, tear through walls, or create a giant I'm treading into spoiler territory. The spectacle and ingenuity of the magic system displayed is one of a kind. The applications of what you're able to do with this magic system within the setting is also just really fun to dig into. Throughout the series, you're constantly seeing surprising and creative ways that each of the characters kind of learn and explore how they can use their magic to benefit the world around them and aid the people that need it the most. You see, when I convey to you that I think you should read Witch Hat Atelier, I should also convey what kind of story it is. It is a story of what it means to have a shared power in the world, but more importantly, it's a story of how important your connections are, how everyone can inspire each other to be a better person, how it's okay to have flaws and make mistakes, but they're an opportunity to learn from, and they shouldn't hold you back. One person you consider an enemy may one day be your friend, and if you put in the effort, you can truly accomplish anything you set your mind to. And hopefully along the way, you've made enough friends that when you begin to doubt yourself, you can lean on them to tell you, hey, you got this, you're competent, and you can get it done. And if you still can't do it, they'll push you a little further and help you along the way. Witch Hat Atelier is a story that really drags out the empath in me. It plays straight to my ethos, and I cannot enjoy it more. I think a lot of the characters are really amazing. The headmaster Quiffery, he is a beautiful water mage that has a very compelling story. I think all of the characters have very clear motivations and goals, and it's always a fun to read their adventures on the page, to see the hybrid creatures come to life and the spectacles on display. It's immersive, it's fun, it's exhilarating, and the creativity that it invokes into you as the reader is overwhelming at times. I couldn't recommend Witch Hat Atelier more. I think it is truly a treasure amongst the sea of stories we have been getting in recent times, and it only shows to better itself with each new chapter. Please give it a chance. Alright, that was my speech, my unspoiler speech of why you should read Witch Hat Atelier and what's so great about it without getting into the nitty-gritty details. If I were to get into the nitty-gritty details, this video would go from, 9 minutes to an hour long. That might be a bit of an understatement. It would probably exceed an hour. And I'd like to hear from you. What kind of story or show or manga that you've read recently that has kind of consumed you and you want everyone to see just how amazing it is? If it's anything like how I feel about Witch Hat Atelier, I'm sure I would not want to miss out. So please tell me so I'm aware of it. Tell me in the comments below. However, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you had a good morning. Take care. Goodbye.